Hi everyone, it's Connor here from Durham Hearing Specialists. I hope you're doing well and welcome to another video. We've got quite an interesting one here. As you can see, we've got some very dark, almost black wax up against the eardrum. And we know that the eardrum's behind this wax because see where the arrows are? See how it's kind of light grey? That's the tissue of the eardrum. That's the typical colour of the eardrum that you would expect to see in a healthy ear. And the unusual thing about this case is that this wax has almost made a perfect mirror image. So it's molded actually perfectly to the outer surface of the eardrum. And you'll see that in a moment when I drag this plug out. But I've only ever seen this so perfectly preserved and presented once before. So it is fairly rare. But just to give you some background on this case, this patient he's felt like this ear has been a problem for quite a while. So several months this wax has been there. But his other ear is sufficiently free of wax such that, he's kind of been getting by and putting it off. And, after shoving it further in, which I presume he did with a cotton bud, but after shoving it down against the eardrum, he reports using olive oil for quite some time before giving up. And what presumably has happened is that the olive oil has gone in and softened the wax to such an extent that it's been able to form, this perfect negative image of the shape of the eardrum. And again, just to give you further context, the eardrum is basically cone-shaped, so it's kind of slightly concave. And for a long time, researchers thought that was just, an insignificant feature of the eardrum. But as it happens, further research has shown that because it's cone-shaped, that allows for slightly more force to be transferred through the middle ear bones, through to the inner ear, particularly for high-frequency sounds, which, again, makes sense because from an evolutionary point of view, if a human can hear high-pitched sounds well, then they can understand speech very well. So consonants, things like s, t, ch, all are very high-frequency sounds. So just some olive oil here, kind of sucking up in a whirlpool motion. So what you're going to see is that outer surface of the eardrum, the earwax is essentially kind of molded to that and created, again, a cone shape, which you'll see in a moment. So I'm just dragging it out here, and the olive oil is just allowing me to slide this plug out. And the outer surface that we could see with the endoscope initially is obviously gnarled and bumpy and things. But if we turned it over, can you see right there? I'll put the arrow on it. See how it's nice and smooth in a disc, and see how there's a dimple in the middle, so it's kind of cone-shaped? That is almost a perfect representation of the outer surface of the eardrum, which is very unusual and very interesting. So, and again, if you were to take it like a proper molding of it with silicone, then that's essentially what it would look like. So very, very interesting, very unusual.